Okay, I buried the lead at the end of yesterday's video, and I'm not going to bury it very long in this one. There is one thing that has me questioning how these pirates are going to do once they release in high seas, okay? I think that they all look incredibly cool thus far. Puffin is probably the most that has impressed upon me. Where I first started when I saw Puffin, I was like, I don't care at all. The more I've thought about Puffin, the more I've been most impressed to this point. I think this is going to be a really fun hero. Gravy Bones is where everybody's at right now. I think Gravy Bones is perhaps the most exciting hero that they've released since, heck, I don't know. Leave a comment down below. Most exciting hero that anyone's released, that Flesh and Blood has released since when? What was the last hero that had people this interested and excited for that Gravy Bones has, okay? And then, of course, the one hero that I think could be the most powerful and is the least talked about right now, Marlin Treasure Hunter. She's like the Zen of this set. But there's one thing that is sort of holding me back as far as, the problems that need to be solved to really understand these heroes and to see how good they're going to be. As you can see, with all of these heroes, and as you would expect from any sort of pirate, they all have something to do with gold. Destroy a gold you control, create a golden cog token. Destroy a gold you control, draw a card, then discard a card. Destroy a gold you control, create a goldfin harpoon in your hand. And this is truly the biggest question mark of the set because, a year ago, when gold was finally unveiled in heavy hitters, gold became a thing. That year, it was said gold could be game breaking. It could be one of these, scenarios, one of these situations where it's just too good. And I should say it didn't really debut in heavy hitters. So if you're down in the comments saying it debuted, back in Dynasty, you're correct. It did. It debuted back in Dynasty, I believe, not heavy hitters. So it really caught on and rose to prominence really in heavy hitters. But that was the talk, I guess, all the way back since Dynasty. The discussion was that it could be game breaking. And most recently, of course, the devs mentioned that it has become the most well-liked and positioned and balanced way of drawing cards in Flesh and Blood. But that doesn't actually tell us how often you're going to be able to generate gold, how prevalent it's going to be within these heroes, okay? And there is an answer, in my opinion. There will be an answer to this question, but do keep in mind, okay, so Treasure Island, and I will zoom in. Treasure Island is a macro that will be available to play in High Seas Limited, and it essentially enables you and your opponent to trade back and forth, building up gold tokens, and then, basically gaining gold tokens. This is a key point that is going to really smooth out gold creation in Limited, because both players are going to have, I would say, equal access. We'll say equal access to, going and raiding Treasure Island for the gold and then feeding the effect, the ability. So understanding that it's going to be functional and going to be prevalent in Limited is one thing. That's an encouragement because it means that these, hero effects are going to be available to actually be played. But the question mark still remains, how prevalent will gold creation be if you want to play as Marlin and you want to create goldfin harpoons, or if you want to play as Gravy Bones and you want to get the draw and discard so that you can put a blue card into your graveyard, or if you're playing as Puffin. And this one is the really big question mark to me, because to me, I look at her effect, and it could be the most simple of the three, but I look at her effect and she desperately wants to crank and draw cards to go positive on, card advantage. And in order to do that, she has to turn her gold into golden cogs and then crank those golden cogs so she can get to her second one and then draw a card, right? All of this to say that there has to be some solution to, getting access to gold. And it, depending on how important these effects are to the heroes and their game plans, it could be that they need a lot of gold. It could be that they need a little bit of gold. This reminds me a lot of the moment when we first saw Part the Mistveil heroes, and we saw Chi. And I wrote a series of articles for MinMax Games back then about each hero and what we knew so far and how much they might want to activate their effect and to activate Chi. And it turns out that Chi was very good, and that they really only splashed in like Chi 8 or 9 times, and then on top of that, they had a card that fetched Chi on demand. I think that there's some correlation here with that. How often do you want to create a golden cog token? Well, for her, Puffin, she to me seems like she very much wants a steady stream of golden cog tokens. Therefore, she's going to need some way to generate golden pieces of gold, I should say, to create them, turn them into golden cogs. And as you can see here, yeah, there's not like a ton of gold creation that we know about thus far. Of course, Golden Skywarden allows you to turn golden cogs you've already made into gold tokens, right? The same question, I should say, should be asked for Gravy Bones, Shipwrecked Looter. How often do you want to be discarding off of this effect? I mean, this effect is like card neutral. You're drawing a card and then discarding a card, so the card is replacing itself. And if you're getting rid of a blue card in this process, you're enabling his second ability. So this would be, conceivably, the most even way to activate his effect. So are you wanting to activate his effect a lot? And if you are, how much gold do you need to actually pull that off so that you can then play Watery Grave cards from your graveyard? That's the big question. And then, of course, how much do you care about this Goldfin Harpoon as Marlin Treasure Hunter, who's going to make Goldfin Harpoons when you destroy a gold? And keep in mind this as well. All three of these heroes, if they are creating gold tokens, they have the capacity to use those gold tokens to activate their effect, or to pay 2 and draw a card, replacing the card and gaining essentially a resource if you pitch a blue to do so. So all of these heroes have this wager of like, okay, I can either draw a random card and go net resource positive if I pitch a blue, or I can activate their effect, and in doing so, I can gain a Goldfin Harpoon and then have some synergy with the Harpoon, or I can play a Watery Grave card, which is probably very good, or I can crank, a golden cog and possibly draw a card that way, along with any other benefits of cranking that we could have along the way. But I have an answer for you, and I think LSS has thought this through. Okay, they know that this is a consideration, that gold needs to be both prevalent in Treasure Island in Limited and also in Classic Constructed. And there's cards like this that make me kind of see that they're going to be plugging this in, but this is the card that tells us what they're going to do. And it makes me kind of excited for why I think that, I think they're going and why I think this is the answer. The gold generation cards are going to be the pirate class cards. The pirate cards are going to, in my opinion, do 2 things. Thing number 1, have some stipulation or some tie-in with generating gold. I think that they will put the generation cards, the gold generation cards, heavily in the pirate class, so that any future pirates are future-proof into gold. The second thing I think that they're going to do is put the stealing a gold mechanic onto pirate cards. I think their solution to this conundrum, to this problem, and I think it is a problem because if they don't have enough gold generation, then these effects don't really turn on. I think the solution will be to make the pirate class cards in this set all about both creating and stealing gold. That way, you've baked into the pirate class itself a natural identity that already fits with pirates. Finding gold, stealing gold, hiding gold, digging gold up, all of these things. You bake that into the class as its identity, and you also meet these 3 heroes who all share a very similar effect. Tap them, destroy a gold, tap them, destroy a gold, tap them, destroy a gold. In order to do the thing, you give them access via the shared card pool that they all can pull from in Limited and also in Classic Constructed. And that is the answer to the conundrum of how do we get enough gold into each of their kits, essentially. And this should be exciting because it means that any future pirates, anyone like in the future that is created in the pirate class, or if they do dual classes, or if they do a talented pirate, they will at least have the connection that makes them feel like a pirate with gold and maybe even with rum too. And yes, I'm still wearing the rum shirt. Okay, I'm still wearing the Into the AM rum shirt. So if you want to pick that up as well, you can. And support the channel. Let's go. You can support the channel by using the link down in the description. But no, it's all about gold for pirates. And I think that LSS smartly has taken those gold creation cards and put them not into the mechanologist, not into the necromancer, not into the ranger. Now keep in mind, they could have gold generation cards in that as well. Like, you could definitely have some amount of cards that say, oh yeah, you just discard it and create a gold token. Like this type of effect, I don't want to undersell the fact that like these cards already create gold tokens, but they're also majestics. Okay, so like it makes sense for them to do all the things. I think it will be very cool and very thematic and right on theme if they put the gold creation into the shared card pool of the pirate class. So am I right on this? Am I wrong on this? And is this that big of a deal? I think depending on if it's too much or too little, I do think that it's a big deal for these heroes specifically and being able to create gold. So sound off in a comment below, or am I just way off base here? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And, share that, and then tell me why you're so hyped about pirates in the comments below as well. Of course, make the number go to the other number right up here. And as always, thanks for watching.